Suite. I'm Sam Heifel, and I'm joined by Bitsy Tulloch from Superman and Lois, the aforementioned Lois.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be back at Comic-Con. It's been a while. The last time I was here was for Grimm, and that was a couple years ago.
Oh, so you haven't even gotten to be here for Superman and Lois.
We haven't, because we started filming during the pandemic. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Have you gotten to interact with fans or anything much at this point?
Here?
Yeah.
I do at cons. At Comic-Con it's a little different, like San Diego Comic-Con, because you're really literally shuttled from event to event to event. Yeah. I did stop to take some pictures with people on the way in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to. I just did an interview on a balcony. It's just so fun to see everybody, especially the really cool cosplay, and everyone's just excited, and it's nice that it's back up and going again.
There's an energy to Comic-Con that I don't think exists anywhere else.
It is unmatchable.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. Well, I do want to take it all the way back because I believe, your first appearance as Lois was in 2018?
It was 2018. I was pregnant. That was for Elseworlds. Yeah, and I did The Flash and Supergirl.
Yeah. Well, so I am so curious, when you first heard of this role, when this started to come about, were you at all hesitant to play such an iconic character?
Hesitant wasn't the word, because it was more like, oh my God, this is so exciting. This could be so exciting. Of course, it's Lois Lane. She's so iconic. It was more humbled and perhaps a little bit daunted, but only daunted in the sense that I have a lot of respect for the fans, and I have a lot of respect for why Lois Lane is such an iconic character. She is such a badass, and she has been a badass since she was introduced in the 1930s as this really career-driven woman who was just determined and uncompromising. And so it was more just wow, it would be so cool if I could have a chance to play her.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about this is she's literally married to Superman, and I think she's the more intimidating of the two. So I love it.
I've heard that before.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, it's cool. She's, like I said, she's a badass. She's very, very strong. I think one of the things that I had a tougher time playing in season 2 was she was having to bite her tongue a lot, and this is somebody who's constantly in the pursuit of truth and justice, and because she was trying to protect her family, there were a lot of moments where she just had to kind of be okay, staying out of it.
Yeah. So when you first took on this role, you didn't know Superman and Lois wasn't a possibility. You thought you were just playing it in crossovers, or did you know it was?
It's very interesting. This is a good question, because Tyler was told something completely different. I was told by somebody who it was, and granted it was not this person's decision, but I was told that they were my feeling is if the fans really like you and Tyler together, they would likely try to create a show about the two of you. And I just was, also had a lot of morning sickness. So at that point I was like, this is really fun. I have to go throw up. I'll be right back. Yeah, that's what happened, and it was, I would say, a couple months after Elseworlds aired that we got the phone call that they wanted to do it, and then it was greenlit straight to series, which hadn't happened before for the network. So it's really exciting, and Todd Helbing, our showrunner, is amazing, but the way that Greg Berlanti and Sarah Schechter had sort of pitched it to us and to Todd was a little bit of Friday Night Lights with superhero, and at its core, it is a family drama, and so as long as you really care about these relationships, yes, the set pieces are incredible. Our VFX team is incredible. The crew is great, but at its core, it is a family drama.
Yeah. Some of my favorite moments are just Lois and Clark on the porch.
Yeah.
Everyone
loves the porch scenes.
And I was just what a dream.
Yeah. Although I will say the porch scenes are a nightmare to shoot because that location is so cold and windy and muddy, so it's basically most of the day is people trying to find warmth or cover.
Yeah. What? Because you do have some crazy set pieces mixed in there and huge action scenes. What is the strangest piece of direction you've been given on Superman?
The weirdest thing for me, whether it's Superman and Lois or another TV show or a movie, is where the eye line has to be so specific, so you can't it's okay, so it looks to the audience that you're looking into someone's eyes, but you're supposed to look at here. So I'm like, it's very hard for me to not look into somebody's eyes because
Right.
like it's all about being present at the end of the day. And then I'm like, don't do it. Earlobe. Or, you know, when you have to look at, I have really bad eyesight. So sometimes when it's like really dim lighting, they're like, oh no, we put a little, oh, just look there. And I'm like, I can't see that. Like, you guys need to get, you know, a neon green Post-it note to
Right.
put underneath the camera because otherwise I'll be like,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
Yeah. Well, you also in season 2, you got to play alt-world Lois with
Yeah.
her bangs.
Bizarro Lois was fun. I really liked that wig. I absolutely texted our showrunner and was like, do I need bangs? That was fun. And it also was just such a dark sort of variation. And the four of them just were living on separate planets. I mean, not actually. But just doing their own thing. And the family wasn't getting along. And it was a really fun episode. Tyler loved shooting this one scene with the two of us outside the farmhouse where he was spitting on me. I was like, hey, you actually spit on me that last take. Like, I'm glad you're feeling it, but like, try not to actually spit on me.
Right.
So it was fun. It was just such a departure.
Yeah. But I felt like there were so many, especially there was one episode where, as Bizarro Lois, you were almost always just like in the background. Like there wasn't dialogue. You were doing so much work just like standing there.
Especially like when she popped up later.
Yeah. That's what
it was a little odd. I also was like, my heart sank a little bit because, you know, like I mentioned, that one location is notoriously tough.
Yeah.
And I just was reading. I'm like, okay, I have nothing to say. But Bizarro Lois is in the scene, so that means I'm there all day, just like standing there.
Just standing, working.
It just was sort of strange, and I guess that was the point.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Heading into it, because like I think season 2 was even better than season 1. I feel like you guys are on a roll. Is there any side of Lois or just element? I mean, this season I loved the Lucy stuff. I loved the Lana friendship. I feel like we're always growing the character. But what would you like to see in season 3? Is there any element you'd like to dig into some more?
One of the things, because I probably spend too much time on social media, and so I see what fans are really wanting to see too, and I actually really agreed with them, is more of Lois being a journalist and, you know, going on scouts or spying on people and, you know, the kind of stuff that she would have been doing more when she was still at the Daily Planet, like having some more of that happening in Smallville, and, you know, it's more of a team up with Clark as journalists, because that's how they met and fell in love, and I think that would be really fun. And I loved working with Jenna, by the way, who played Lucy on the show. She's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, if anyone can get me to do a TikTok dance, it's her. It's the only time I've done it. But she can just convince you to do anything, really.
Yeah. Do you know a good chunk of like your season arc going in, or are you getting scripts and like being surprised?
The overall, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I typically don't really want to necessarily know what's happening because Lois wouldn't, you know? I mean, it's happening. And so right now I haven't read anything. I know who the big villain is, which is really exciting, but that's it. The writers just got back into the room, I believe, a week ago, and we don't start filming until September. So I'll probably get the first production draft for season 3, episode 1, you know, close to the end of August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has there been a script that shocked you, so like that you remember vividly reading?
Yeah, season 1, I think it was episode 8, there was a very dramatic episode for me as an actress where Lois reveals in therapy that she had had a very late-term miscarriage. And I was crying when I read it, and I haven't, thank God, because I have a lot of friends who've had fertility struggles. I haven't been through anything like that, but it was really intense, and I kind of was like, wait, sorry, we're doing this?
Right.
It was just very emotional. The whole episode was so emotional, and so that was the one script I read where I kind of, because Tyler and I kind of work the same way. We'll like get to work and we're really goofing around and it's just the same kind of actors where then they'll say rolling and then we just drop into it and we're really serious and then it's like cut and then we're messing around. That one, I was like, it's very hard to sustain that level of emotion over and over, take after take. And so that was an episode where I felt like I had to really isolate myself a little bit from the cast and crew just to be able to stay in it and to stay truthful.
Sure. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
And for everybody else, stay tuned to EW.com for all your Comic-Con needs.